This is week 4 of our summer math work. Evaluate each expression. We have 5 minus a negative 2. Remember, when we have a subtraction, we will change that subtraction to an addition and change the sign of the number behind it. So 5 minus a negative 2 is equivalent to 5 plus 2, which is 7. Number 5, negative 8 minus negative 1. Again, we will keep the first number the same, change the subtraction to an addition, and change the sign of the number behind it. Negative 8 minus negative 1 is the same as negative 8 plus 1. When the signs are different and we're doing addition, we simply subtract the numbers, and the number with the larger absolute value keeps the sign. 8 negatives and 1 positive will be 7 negatives. When the signs are the same and we're adding, we simply sum the numbers and keep the signs the same. That makes sense. 6 negatives and 5 negatives would be 11 negatives. Think of a negative number as owing money. If you owe $6 and $5, you would owe $11. Find the product. The product is the result of a multiplication problem. So we're being asked to multiply. We would also know because these two values are connected, and connected means multiply. 10 times negative 2 will be a negative 20. When the signs are different of the factors, the result, the product is negative. When the signs are the same and we're multiplying, the product is positive. Negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. Signs different, negative, signs same, positive when multiplying. Solve each equation. We're looking for the value of the variable that makes the statement true. 130 equals 10 times n. We want to solve for n. The number 10 is the coefficient, n is the variable. They are connected. That implies multiply. We will undo with division, dividing both sides by 10. 10 divides by 10 to leave n. 130 divided by 10 is 13. We would then take this value of n equal 13 and substitute it back into our original statement. So instead of 130 equals 10n, we have 130 equals 10 times what we believe n to be, which is 13. I've taken the value n is 13 and substituted it in place of n to see, is this statement true? Well, 10 times 130, that's 130. 10 times 13, pardon me, is 130. And we know 130 is equal to 130. This statement is true. So it tells us that this value 13 equal n is a solution. It is a value that makes our statement true. Alright, we want to solve for k. That is, we want to get k by itself. Here k is divided by 11. The inverse operation of division is multiplication. We will multiply both sides by 11. And here I'd simply show connecting. The 11 cancels with the 11 to leave k. 11 times 27 is 187. We could take that value of k and substitute it back in. We'd see that would yield a true statement. Number 35, solving for b. We want to get b by itself. We will first undo this negative 1. We will use the additive inverse. That is, we will add 1. I'm drawing this line down the middle just to keep in mind what we do to one side we'll need to do to the other. Adding 1 to the right side expression, adding 1 to the left. Minus 1 plus 1 cancel, leaving 9b on the right. Negative 145 plus 1 is a negative 144. Dividing both sides by 9. 9 divides 9 to leave b. 144 divided by 9 is 16. But it will be a negative 16 because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. We could take that value that negative 16 equals b and substitute it back in to verify. Last problem for our week 4. We have negative this parentheses. You can consider there being a 1 right there. Negative 1 times this parentheses, we'll use the distributive property. Negative 1 times 6 will be a negative 6. Negative 1 times plus x will be minus x. Left side expression remains the same. Solving for x, we will add 6 to both sides. We're looking to undo this minus 6. We go plus 6. Minus 6 plus 6 goes to 0, leaving only, in this case, subtract x. In this context, it'll be a negative x. Negative 3 plus 6 will be a positive 3. Again, there's like an implied 1 right here. Solving for x, this is negative 1 times x. We will divide by negative 1. We're simply looking to undo things. Negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1, or simply x. 3 divided by negative 1 is a negative 3. We could take this value of x equal negative 3 and substitute it back in. It would look like this. Negative 3 equals, we have negative parentheses, 6 plus what we think x to be, in this case negative 3. Well, 6 plus negative 3 is a positive 3. And clearly you can see that positive 3 will be negative 3, and that is equal to negative 3. This is a true statement. Thus, we know x equal negative 3 is a solution. That concludes this video.